Gracious God, not my words, but thy words. And not just individual meditating hearts, but a collective of the heart of this church is receptive, that is receptive to your word and its new revelation for this day. That is why we came here. That is why we ask your illumination, O God, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. So, like every woman since the beginning of time, every mother since the beginning of time, this woman bathes her baby. It is a ritual that transcends human history. A mother and her child. And she does it day after day, like prayer in action. She takes her baby, this vulnerable little baby, and she looks at it as she prepares, and she whispers a blessing on it. And before she even picks up the baby to start this process, she has her ritual all laid out. She has her towel and a fresh diaper and the onesie with the little hood and the water. The water, perfect temperatured water. Not too hot, not too cold. And she takes her baby and she places the baby in the water and sprinkles water over it and washes it and turns into this ooey gooey mommy mess like we all do when we have little babies that we're taking care of. Somehow we forget to talk like adults and we make up our own language. Yeah. And she says to this baby, as she's doing this ritual, as she's doing prayer in motion, she is saying, "Oh, you are a beautiful child. Oh, you are a blessed child. Oh, you are so loved, child. Oh, beloved child, you are a force to be reckoned with in the world. You are so welcome. You are so loved." And she continues to bathe the child. And when she's done, she takes the baby out and she takes the towel and she dries him off and she lays him out. She puts the fresh diaper on. She tucks him into that onesie with the hood. And she rocks her child back and forth and back and forth. And she looks continuously loving at this child. And she begins to sing. She sings, "How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul." And she goes over to the rocking chair, and she sits, and she sings a little bit more, and she sits and she rocks, and she thinks to herself, and all of a sudden she stops rocking, and she says, "Did I just baptize my baby by accident?" I mean, is that even a valid question? Can you even do that? Can you accidentally baptize somebody? I mean, what is baptism anyways? I mean, this is not a theological question that is for her to ponder. This is not about the reality of what she just did with her baby. This is old church teaching some kind of doubt. This is a woman with no church-given authority doing what she wants to do and believes is best for her child, and all of a sudden she's second-guessing her ritual because of some ancient teaching that says some specific person needs to do a sacrament called baptism, and she's not even sure if that's what she actually did. She was loving on her child. That's what baptism is about. God loving on us. God physically and tangibly telling us how much we are loved. But let's not discount baptism. As John read in Ephesians, that book to the early church, that letter actually to the early church, it says something about baptism in there. It says something about what baptism means in our connectedness. And apparently, although we're not sure if Paul actually wrote that letter, or if Paul's correspondent secretary wrote that letter, or one of the followers of Paul finally got around and wrote that letter, which is a whole other historical, theological question that sometimes we spend far too much time debating in seminary circles. The fact is, it was an important enough letter that it got written. And I even think, even though it was addressed to the church at Ephesus, I mean, we're all old enough in this room to remember those long business letters that you would get, and at the bottom it says CC. I mean, if you're younger these days, we see the CC in the email. Do we actually know what that CC means? Anybody know what that word, what those initials mean? Carbon copy. Now, I think that original letter to the church at Ephesus probably had a CC down there, but they couldn't fit it in because that CC said the Vatican, Westminster, Riverside Church, World Church International, Peace United Church of Christ, Rochester, Peace United Church of Christ, Duluth, Peace United Church of Christ, St. Cloud. So let's not, even though the letter was written to the church at Ephesus, it was written to us too. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been in there. And what does that letter start with? Paul saying, I, as a prisoner of the Lord, beg you to live a life worthy of your calling. Not, it would be really nice of you, or I think if you don't have something better to do, if you could do this. And apparently Paul is a little emphatic about this. I beg you, with every fiber of my being, with every ounce in my baptized body, to live a life worthy of your calling. Because it's not just those of us who wear robes and stoles in the church who have a calling. Every baptized member of the church is a minister of the gospel. And God is using us and wants to use us. That's why we're baptized. So God is begging you to listen and to live a life worthy of that. You know, this is a beautiful sanctuary, but I want you to imagine for a moment that we're not really in the sanctuary. Let's just rip this roof off and think, we're in a big old bathtub. And just like in the beginning of the book of Genesis, God is hovering over us, just like over the waters of creation. And God is singing to us. God is saying, how can anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle, and how deeply you're connected to my soul? We're sitting in this bathtub, and God is singing to us, and God is pouring out that Spirit upon us and saying, let these people know that they are loved. Let these people know that they are beautiful. Let these people know that they are a force to be reckoned with in the world. Amen?